Hey Aries, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be taking a look at your Scorpio season messages today. So here, holding down the court here in home base position, we have the Death Key representing, but of course, Scorpio season. So today is really about taking a look at what's coming up for release in your situation, and then what's on the other side. What is the gift? What is the reward for releasing whatever it is that's coming up, and then your advice moving forward? So we're gonna take a look at beginning here where you are now. So where is Aries now? What's going on? Scorpio season. Oh, it's like that, is it, Aries? Very, very nice. So here you have the King of Cups. So really, really interesting starting point here, because the King of Cups speaks to an aspect of yourself where your emotions feel balanced, but there could be this sense of, yes, being tapped into how you feel, but also feeling like you are in the deep seas in some way, shape, or form. Like the emotions are definitely swelling and at the forefront of your experience, but there also feels like there's this aspect of you might be more connected to, I want to say, it sounds very like corny or trite, but it's like very connected to what your heart wants. Very connected to what's true for you. Because when we think about, that saying of the heart never lies, that's very much a King of Cups energy. And so sometimes when we are connected to our heart in a more profound way, and we have a direct line to what our personal truth is, what that means is it's brilliant, but what that also means is we become a lot more aware of the relationships that are working, the ones that are not. That includes our relationship with ourselves, how we really feel about the work that we do, how we feel about where we live, how we feel about our physical health, right? So it's almost as if the truth is loud and proud for you at the moment, Aries. It's like, right? Because remember, you guys are the Emperor in the Tarot, right? And the King of Cups is an aspect of the Emperor that is most connected to his feelings and his intuition, right? Which connects you right to your heart chakra. So I like this for you, though. I like that you're here because Scorpio season is also, Scorpio is a water sign. So it really feels like there's something about where you are with this King of Cups placement that's like, yeah, maybe you're in the best position possible going into this, time of year with what's coming up for release, for you to be that connected to your heart space in that way. It feels really nice. It feels like that clarity is going to be a lot, closer to the front of your awareness than maybe, others. It's brilliant. So let's take a look here at what's coming up to be released. Interesting. So here you have 7 of Wands coming up to be released during Scorpio season. So what's really interesting about this is that traditionally speaking, 7 of Wands is about overcoming any obstacles, right? Feeling larger than your problems, or feeling larger than any opposing elements in your experience, right? But there's also an aspect of this, like a belief system that ties to this, that says, if I want something done well, I have to do it myself, or no pain, no gain, or in order for something to be worthwhile, it must be difficult. So it speaks of a certain belief system, because look at the look on his face. Can you see that? Look on his face where it's like it's a lot of effort here. So these two feel like they're in a bit of opposition to each other, because the 7 of Wands, remember, the Wands are about the actions that we take, right? Or that we don't take, right? About whatever inspires us, drives us around the work that we do, around our interpersonal relationships, right? But it's also about our soul, right? And our belief system. And I'm really getting for you here that there could be some, things coming up for you to be released around, your belief system and how you feel things to be true in your experience, right? So it's kind of looking at it through your perception lens, or the lens of perception, right? Do I expect things to be hard? For example, do I expect things to be hard or challenging, and then they are, and I prove myself right? Or do I expect things to come to me effortlessly and easily if I simply show up in alignment and am open? I feel like your belief systems, there's something around feeling like in order for something to come to you or manifest or be worth it, it needs to involve a lot of effort. And that's coming up for release, right? Things cannot come to you effortlessly and easily if you don't believe that that's the way of the world, right? Okay, which is not to say that we don't want to, make an effort and put time and energy into things. But for you as an Aries, like you already have that, belief system on point. So this is coming up to counter and question that belief system, right? Especially seeing as you're in the King of Cups, you might even be questioning and looking at, how do my actions or my belief systems actually serve me? And are they giving me what I want in a way that feels good and right for me, right? It's kind of like, it's that movie is coming to mind of It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart, right? Where it's like that coming up against, he only sees the truth of things after he has that angel come down, after that near-death experience, right? And that's coming through for you. I feel like there's an aspect of that where you're kind of having this more broad awareness and connected to your heart and going, maybe there's a different way to go about being or experiencing or feeling, right? Or operating. So we're going to take a look at the gift. Like, what is on the other side of releasing this belief system or feeling like everything has to have a lot of effort involved or challenge? Oh, do you remember when I said that an aspect of the Seven of Pentacles is feeling like you have to do it yourself? Or if you want it done right, it needs to be done by yourself. Six of Pentacles is reciprocity. This is that benefactor key. This is having help. This is having, other people or a person come in and say, let me help you get to where you're going. Let me help you do this, because you give a lot to other people. You do a lot on your own. And now it's time for you to get back everything that you give. And I love that, but you can only really receive and align yourself to that energy if you are willing to shift something about, I need to do it on my own, or I don't like asking for help, or I have trouble receiving help. And there's something about your heart being more open during this time where I feel like it's kind of like a lubricant here. This water is going to come out and put out some of this fire of belief system and sort of pave the way for this Six of Pentacles to come through, right? It's really beautiful, Aries. It's really, really beautiful. So lastly, let's go ahead and take a look at your advice here. Advice for Aries for Scorpio season. Oh, beautiful. So your advice here is the Two of Wands. So again, with the wands here, Two of Wands is very much about laying down your foundation, right? About dotting those I's and crossing those T's and really allowing yourself to dream from a place of possibility of what could be. And I mean that. I mean possibility without restriction, right? Because look at how he's got the world in his hands, right? And it almost makes me think of that saying or that thought exercise, if you're familiar, of if time and money were no object, what would I do? And that's very much a Two of Wands energy, because it's not so much the point of going, well, it's not. Time and money are objects, so I'm going to go ahead and limit my thinking. It's really more for the purpose of getting in alignment with what you actually desire and what you actually, want to be and where you want to be and what you want your experience to feel like, right? And sometimes that's the key. Again, with this King of Cups and the feeling. What do I want my experience to feel like? How do I want to feel? How do I want to feel when I get up in the morning? How do I want to feel when I go to work? How do I want to feel when I'm working? How do I want to feel in my interpersonal relationships, right? And really getting connected to that. So the fact that this is your advice, I feel like is saying, free yourself from your self-perceived limitations and old ways of thinking and being and doing, and open yourself up to a new programming system that is going to allow you to dream from a place of possibility and thus inform, inspire you, and clear your path ahead to one that is very reciprocal, one that is fulfilling, and financially, physically, health and wealth abundant as well, and balanced. Because those are the scales of the Libra key there, right? Balanced. It's really, really beautiful, Aries. It's really, really beautiful. I do feel like you are being called to go back to the drawing board in some way, shape, or form and kind of back it up a little bit, connect back to that heart space and really ask yourself what's true. What have you learned as a belief, or what is a belief system that you inherited maybe from your parents or society? And what is actually true for you? Something in that as well. So, with that being said, beautiful Aries, I'm wishing you and sending you so many blessings for your Scorpio season. Thank you so much for being here. And most of all, and as always, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.